Welcome back to Keys to Product Creation Success. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the 7 C's of content creation. So you're going to be using content to drive traffic to your brand. You're going to be using content to get people interested in what it is that you have to offer, whether or not it's on Facebook or social media. You do need to have something to share on social media, and that is going to be your content. Content is how people stay interested in what it is that you are going to be doing in your business, especially since you're creating information products. Now, the first aspect of content creation that you want to have in every piece, and this is whether or not you're going to be doing a podcast, a blog, Google Hangouts, whatever you're doing in order to create content, if you're using all these things, you want to have an element of care. In other words, one of the things that you can do to have successful content creation is make sure that your content addresses people's real concerns. So you can talk about the things that you know, you can talk about things that you're finding out in the industry, but you want to have good content creation. Make sure that your findings address people's needs, their real concerns. If people are concerned about how they're going to get more traffic, then address those concerns. I mean, it's great to talk about, let's say, the Google algorithm, but how does the Google algorithm relate to people's need to get traffic? Always make the connection to the things that people care about. Always make the connection to the things that people are concerned about in their business or in their life, depending on what it is that your niche is. Okay, the second C of content creation is that you need to be consistent. Okay, if you're going to blog, then you need to be blogging on a schedule. It's less important for you to blog every day than it is for you to blog on time. So if you're going to blog once a week, and you're going to have a post ready for Mondays, every Monday at that time, make sure you have that post ready, and then never miss a Monday. Right? It's important for you to be consistent. It's important for people to be able to know what to expect from you and for them to be able to get it. If you want people to pay attention to your content, you need to have a schedule and you need to stick to it. Right? So if you're not going to blog 2 times a week, don't say you're going to blog 2 times a week. Don't start out trying to blog 2 times a week. Try to do it once a week. If you're going to do a podcast, there's a gentleman whose name is John Lee Dumas, and he does the Entrepreneur on Fire podcast. And his USP is that he blogs or he does a podcast every day. Now, what most people don't know about what John Lee Dumas does is that he records all those podcasts on the same day. Right? So remember, if you're going to do something, just be consistent. It's more important for you to be consistent than for you to have lots of volume and be inconsistent. Right? To throw a bunch of blog posts on each other, a lot of them aren't going to get read if you don't have them done on a schedule on a consistent basis. Challenge. Okay? So in other words, do something challenging. Challenge people. Challenge the conventional wisdom. So your content is not going to get read if all it does is it repeats what everybody else reads. Find the issue that everybody's talking about, and guess what? If you put that issue in Google, you're going to find about 1,000 copycat blogs who are all they're doing is rehashing what somebody else said and rehashing the stuff that somebody else thinks. Take a point of view, take a stand, and have a point where you are going to be talking about things from that challenges the conventional wisdom. Now again, you need to know what you're talking about, right? You need to don't just challenge and be controversial for the sake of being controversial. Come from a point of view of knowledge, come from the point of view of experience, but certainly challenge the conventional wisdom in your content. Converse. And this is sort of connected to what I'm talking about here. You should be adding to the conversation, right? You shouldn't be again just repeating or parroting what everyone else is saying, or you shouldn't even be talking about the things everybody else is talking about. Right? When you're creating content and you're looking to get customers want to hear something they haven't heard before. So it kind of almost stands to reason you need to be discovering some things people have not discovered, right, in your business, right? Your job is not to mirror what everybody else says. Your mirror is to create, is to innovate, and if you can do that in your content, you're going to be able to do that in your information products. Okay? Now, connect, right? Now, you want to think about what medium you connect the most in. Okay? So if you connect well in video, then use video a lot. If you connect well in blogging, do blogging a lot. If you connect well in audio, where do you communicate best? Where are you making the most of your connection? Where are you making the most? Where are you getting the most traction from customers? You want to use that medium and to really reach out and really connect with people, right, at a really personal level. So choose the medium where you can do that best in and use that medium to connect with your customers and with your prospects. Okay, collect. Okay, collect. So you should be collecting contact information. That goes without saying. Content creation without collection is meaningless. So if you're not getting people's names and email addresses, that you can't contact them in order for them to buy something for you, you won't be creating content for long. Right, and this is one of the issues with blogging, right? If you're not collecting, if you're just doing it for, let's say, the love of the subject, that's great. You just can't do it for very long if you don't get any money, right? So you need to be collecting names and email addresses so you can sell these people something. And I hate to put it so bluntly, but that is really the way it is, right? You're creating content you can drive people to what it is that you're doing that will help them. Don't cheat people by trying to teach them everything in your blog. Don't cheat people by trying to teach them everything you know in a podcast. That's not helping them, and it's certainly not going to help you help them. Right? You need to make sure you give people your best, and the way you give people your best is you give them the opportunity to buy something where they then can get the perspective that's really going to help them in a course, in a piece of software, or something that they can use on their own time. Okay, content. Use your content to collect names and email addresses. Create, and this is very important, right? And it's the last C of content creation I really want to kind of talk to you about, and it is this. Remember, people, in particular marketers, right? They're taking time they don't have to read something you put together, right? So this is time they don't have, and so make it worth their while. Otherwise, they won't be back. Right? If somebody took 10 minutes out to read your article or to listen to your podcast, was it worth their time? Or is it something that you just kind of put together just because you had a scheduled time to do a podcast? Was it just you had it on the calendar so you had to do it? Create something, right? Make something. Take your time and do something that's going to be worth people coming back to again and again and again. This is vital because content that really gets people to buy is interesting, right? So that means that, I think it was Alice Mondosian who said a long time ago, and he might still say this, that if you want to be interesting, you have to be interested in something. Take time to show people that you are interested in your subject matter. Create something worth their time. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Welcome back to Keys of Product Creation Success, and in this video we are going to talk about the 12 points of copywriting. And when you get ready to either have someone write your copy or you start to write it yourself, there are some things you're going to want to make sure that your copy has in them. And of course, all these things are going to be adaptable to your product in terms of what it's going to be. But if you're just starting out, you want to use this as a checklist. If you have written your own copy, make sure that you have these elements. Now, the first point and the first thing that every copywriter must have is that they must have a line in there to get attention. We call this the headline. And the headline is really something designed to grab the throat of your buyer and to really shake them and to really shock them into paying attention. It says, look here, take a look. You've got to pay attention because what we have to share with you is going to be vital. And so getting people's attention is what the headline is all about. Now, the next thing, of course, what you need to do, and some marketers call this the story or the explanation, but there needs to be a section in there where you identify the problem. And basically what you're trying to do with your customer is you're trying to let them know that you get them, right? You understand what they're going through. And what some marketers say is that if you can describe the customer's problem, better than they can describe it themselves, then you'll have them. You'll have them in the copy. They'll be paying attention and they'll continue to move down the page. Now, the next thing you want to do at some point is you want to provide the solution. So what is it that they need? What is it that they are going to get? And this is where you will reveal that your product is the solution. Your product will really give them the ability to overcome that problem that you have identified, that you have described after you've talked about it in the headline. Now, the other thing you'll want to do is to present your credentials, and what makes you, what is it that gives you the right to define the solution to this problem? Is it that you've gone through the problem before? Is it that you've got experience in deciphering these things? Is it because you've achieved some level of success in this area? Present at this point your credentials, and then what you want to do is start talking about the benefits. What are the benefits of your solution? And we're not talking about what your product has, and not even what it does. We're talking about what it does for me, right? What does it do for me? What does it give me? And we're not, if you're talking about the product in particular, and you're talking about the things that I get to do with it, you're probably not talking about the benefit. If you're talking about an area that, is going to have my life change in some way, you're talking about the benefits. So think about things in the way of how they benefit, not so much the features of the product. You want to give both proof and social proof. Now, the difference between proof and social proof is that social proof is that other people have had some experience. They have have experience with your product, and they've been able to overcome that problem with it. Proof is that you have research that your solution works, right? It's scientific. It is something that is almost guaranteed to work because the process is something that really just basically solves the solution. You want to make an offer. So in other words, you want to make sure that you tell people, right? You tell people what it is that you are going to give them. You tell people your value proposition. You show them what it is that they're getting in exchange for what they're going to be paying you. What you have to do when you make your offer is you have to make the value of the product as big as you can and the price as small as you can. The other thing is you want to do is to make sure you're giving a guarantee. Right? What are you guaranteeing? 30 days, 60 days? Are you guaranteeing that they're going to have absolute satisfaction, or you give them their money back? You need to make sure you have a guarantee. You should inject scarcity. So in other words, you want to make sure that the scarcity is either time-based or maybe the scarcity is quantity-based, but in some way, shape, or form, they can't wait indefinitely to buy this product. They cannot count on it being here 3 weeks from now, 4 weeks from now, a month from now. They need to buy now. Inject scarcity because you want to make sure that they know that there's going to be a limitation. Call to action. This is where you must tell them what to do. In other words, you must tell them to go to the buy button. You must tell them to click to the next page. You must tell them to take action now. A call to action. And then you must also give a warning. And this really harkens back to scarcity. This says that if they don't act, right, it could be that they're going to remain the same that they've been before, that they're not going to get their problem solved. They're not going to overcome what it is that they really overcome. You have to give them a warning, and then you want to close with a reminder. You remind them of the value they're getting for the money they're paying. Remind them of the benefits that they're going to receive. Now, when you go through these 12 points, you'll notice that there is a link there to David Fry's 12-point copywriting. This is the classic system that marketers tend to use. Now, of course, they alter it for their particular product, and you want to look at various sales letters to see how these 12 points are used, but you do want to make sure that these 12 points are in your copy. Okay, so check out the link there to David Fry's website and go over that 12 points. Use this again as a checklist so that your copy will be complete in terms of having all the elements that you need in order to convince your buyer that your product is what they need. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back to Keys to Product Creation Success. And in this video, we are going to be talking about the 8 numbers that you must track as an internet marketer, in particular a product creator. Now, naturally, you are not necessarily tracking, numbers that would you associate with accounting and a traditional business. I mean, you don't have a brick and mortar business, and you don't have things like depreciation, but there is a minimal number of statistics that you need to keep track of in order to make good decisions about your product creation business. Now, one thing that you'll want to keep track of is the number of new subscribers you are getting and how much and how often that you're getting them. You want to make sure that you understand where they're coming from. You want to make sure that you understand how well your opt-in, your squeeze pages are converting visitors into new subscribers. So you should be keeping track of this number. Wherever those new subscribers are coming from, make sure that you understand the number that you're getting on a daily basis, monthly basis, weekly basis, so that you can increase your activity in order to get more. The lifeblood of your business is going to be new subscribers who will want to buy your products and services. You want to keep track of the affiliates that made sales for you. Now, that means that when your affiliates have requests and they have launches, the people that are really making sales for you, the people that are really going all out for you to make your product launch happen, who are basically bringing you leads by promoting your product, you want to make sure that you do everything you can to help them to make more money. Right, so when they have a request, when they want to talk about things, when they need your help, make sure that you build relationships with the people that are making sales for you. Now, that doesn't mean that because a new marketer hasn't made sales for you that you don't talk to them at all. But the people that are making sales for you, you want to build relationships with them and keep track of them so that you know who it is that you are going to, let's say, speak to first. You want to make sure that you're talking to the people when you even think about having a launch. You want to make sure you're reaching out to the people who make sales. So keep track of those affiliates that are making sales for you. Keep track of the number of visitors to your site, in particular your sales page. This is your conversion rate. Now, often what people are going to do, they're going to send people to a bonus page first, but you want to keep track of how well your site is converting. Because if your site's not converting, you need to change the copy. Maybe you need to change something so that your affiliates can make more sales. But keep track of the number of visitors that are coming to your site and also the number of sales that you make. Now, it's not just enough to keep track of the amount of money you're making, number of sales you're making. You want to keep track of those numbers in context or in relation to the number of visitors to your site. Right? This is very important. This is where you're going to be determining what your conversion rate is. Keep track of the number of people who are opening your emails. This is where you are going to determine whether or not your email copy is working, right? Because if you're getting new subscribers but your emails are turning people off, you need to change the way you write emails. Right? So keep track of the number of email opens you're getting. Keep track of them in relation to the number of people that are subscribing to your list. It's a percentage you want to keep track of. Keep track of the number of people who are clicking through. Once again, it is an indication of your email copy. Right? Or maybe it is an indication of the offers that you are picking, or it is an indication of the kind of products you are creating. If you can't get people interested enough to click your links, you're going to make a minimal amount of money. Keep track of these things. The earnings per click. So in other words, how much money are you making every time somebody clicks a link? This is an indication, again, of how good your offer is. It's an indication of how well you are doing in terms of getting the right traffic in front of your offer. So earnings per click is going to be very important. It's also going to be very important to your affiliates. They want to know that you're getting a high earnings per click. Now, of course, there are ways that you can control that number, that you can lessen the impact if you're having a bad sale. But at the end of the day, affiliates want to know that if they send traffic to you, it's going to convert, right? We've already talked about conversion rates, the number of sales per visitors that you're going to be getting. And then, of course, keep track of the money that you're spending out of pocket on a particular launch. That impacts how much. I mean, if you're spending a certain amount, you want to know how much that translates into new subscribers. How much does that translate into, let's say, if you're doing advertising for affiliates? Keep track of the total number that you're spending on a launch, right? Because you need to, when the profit number that you want to look at is not just your advertising costs minus your revenue. It really is the entire budget that you spent on the launch. Copywriter, right? Maybe you have had graphics done. Okay, maybe you increased the capacity on your server. Maybe you went and bought images for the sales page. Keep track of the total dollar amount you're spending out of pocket. Did you hire someone to outsource your support to? Total dollar amount is important because you want to understand how much it takes to get the number of sales you're going to get in a launch. Right? That's important. You have to, because if you're spending more than you're making, then you've got to do something different, or you've got to increase the amount of sales you're getting for the money you're getting. And so you've got to be able to go back and track that number so that you can determine where you need to improve the numbers you're getting on a launch. Okay, so don't just be happy, right, with making sales. Don't just be happy with making, let's say, enough sales that you can that you can say you made a significant amount of money. Keep track of the money you're spending out of pocket. Right, and at some point you want to increase your return on the investment you're making into a particular launch, right? As you progress as a marketer. Okay, so those are the 8 numbers that you should be tracking, the what and the why. So with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back to Keys to Product Creation Success. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the 10 potential WSO or product creation profit leaks. Now, what you want to do is you want to make sure that these 10 things that you're going to see here, that you want to make sure that you close up these gaps. These are the kind of things that will cause you to leave money on the table. And whenever you do a launch, you want to close up as many of those gaps as you can. You can be satisfied with the overall number that you're getting, and that would be great. However, you want to make sure that that number is as high as it can be. And these are the things that are going to help you to be able to make sure that number is as high as it can be. Now, one of the things that you can do to increase the number of sales that your affiliates are going to make is to make sure to give them tools. That means to give them email swipes. That means to give them bonuses, so that they don't have to go hunting for their own bonuses. That means to give them graphics. That means to give them banners. That means to give them the tools that they need to make money however they want to promote your product. So when you don't have those affiliate tools, the affiliates can send emails, but they're going to be limited in the number of ways that they can promote your product. You will see sales that come just as a result of having those tools available to affiliates. One of the ways that some marketers leave money on the table is that they don't have an upsell and or a downsell. Now, many marketers have an upsell or an OTO or a first and second upsell. However, most marketers don't always necessarily have a downsell. And the downsell really is a way of giving your customer the opportunity of coming in at a level with price is an issue, right? Maybe they do want the upsell, they just can't afford it or they can't justify it. But you want to give them an option of being able to get your base package as well as an upsell at a reduced price. Now, of course, you don't want to give away your upsell at a lower price. What you want to do is to make sure to maybe reduce it down to sort of the core elements and just give your buyer the core elements. You can even give your buyer the option of upgrading. But do make sure that you have an upsell, that you have another way or a downsell, which is a price at which your buyer can pay if they don't have the money for the upsell or they don't want to pay it. So make sure you have them both. No exit pop. So when your buyer leaves your page and they're not going to buy, are you giving them the opportunity to opt into your mailing list? And this is especially important if you're paying for traffic. Are you giving them the opportunity to get another offer? Are you getting them the opportunity to get deeper into your marketing funnel? And when you don't have an exit pop, you are leaving those visitors unattended and you're just allowing them to come to your page and leave. Don't do that. Give your buyers another opportunity to make a decision in order to benefit them and then also to buy more from you. And of course, that leads to the case where you should be capturing leads. And in most cases, someone comes to your sales page, you want to make sure you're capturing the leads if they leave away. And even if they decide to linger, make sure you're capturing leads. If you're going to use a platform like JVZoo or Warrior Plus, there is a way for you to auto capture leads when the sale is made. So take every opportunity in the sales process to make sure that you're lead capturing. You don't know where the traffic is coming from. In some cases with JVZoo actually has a system that they call Product of the Day, as does Warrior Plus, and you can end up getting traffic that is not from your list. And so that traffic is going to be coming from someplace else. You want to make sure you're capturing the lead if they come to your page. Okay, no product insert inside of your bonuses. Now, sometimes what you can do is you can open up the zip files, right? And you can make sure that you have a product insert in there. Give your buyer another opportunity to see some of your other products and services. Maybe give them an opportunity to see an upsell. So you should have a PDF inside of your bonuses with a clickable link so that your buyer can, again, get the opportunity to buy more from you. Okay, no additional offers on the download page. This is really important. When your buyer comes to actually make the purchase, you should have all of your additional, at least your relevant additional products available to them so that they can see them, so they can see the link, so they can make a decision. You should have a graphic and a link to your additional products on your download page. This is going to be vital because you are going to see residual sales when people are at their peak in terms of buying from you. Okay, so give them that opportunity. Give them the opportunity to experience more of the quality that you're offering. Okay, no webinar with your upsell. So in other words, you're going to do an upsell, and you're going to give them additional process. But what you can do when the buyer actually buys, you can auto register them onto a webinar. And typically what you can do on that webinar is you give people the opportunity to get your upsell or even another upsell. So getting buyers on a webinar is, again, something that you can do. You can do it automatically and you can automate the process, getting them on and then getting them into a new marketing funnel. Again, another way for you to make profit without a lot of additional income, since people are already getting into your product anyway. No social media presence with viral posts. So in other words, once your buyer buys, they need to get an opportunity to become part of your fan page, an opportunity to connect with you on LinkedIn, an opportunity to connect with you on YouTube, right? And subscribe to you, so that when you begin to send them posts and send them new videos, they should be sharing and liking your stuff and sending it to their friends, right? It's viral traffic. It's a way for you to, again, really leverage when you get someone into your product funnel, right? So you should have a social media presence so that, again, people can share what it is that you are offering them. Okay, no retargeting on social media. So, it's not enough, again, to just email and just say, well, they're just not going to buy. No, what you want to do is to make sure that you're taking, and again, the cost is so minimal, right? You should understand retargeting to the point where you should be retargeting your buyers. And in some cases, some marketers say that the retargeting list is even more valuable than your email list, right? Or at least as valuable. That if the money is in the list, it's certainly in the retargeting list. Okay, and then we talked about this before, and I want to segregate this one point that your affiliates are always going to be looking for bonuses to offer their customers. You should give them the bonuses. Don't make them search for them. Give them the opportunity. And now you're going to have to find some master resale rights. We have some resources at the end of the course here. Make sure that you give your affiliates the bonuses so that they, and in most cases, you can even create the page for them. So that all they have to do is put in their affiliate link so that they can maximize their promotion for you. Okay, so these were the 10 potential profit leaks. You want to make sure these things are closed up so that you can get the maximum amount of profit in each launch. So with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.